as I have said, from the private residence of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. Thank you for having us, Mr. Deputy President. Let's begin on our key thematic area number 1, which is on press freedom and the independence of the media in the country. Does the Kenya Kwanza administration understand and appreciate the role of the media in a democracy?
Thank you very much. Let me also follow suit and introduce myself the way you have done. I'm Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. As an African elder, I cannot start speaking before welcoming you to my home. Welcome to my private residence.
Thank you.
I've lived here for the last 24 years. I'm sorry my wife is not here. She's out of the country. But I will try to make you feel comfortable within my ability.
Okay, thank you.
The Ruto administration believes in all freedoms as per our constitution, including the freedom of the press. The fact that 6 media stations are here is a clear testimony of my faith in the freedom of the press. That's why you're here. If we do not believe in freedom of the press, I will not grant this interview. The media plays a critical role in informing and educating the people of Kenya. The free media is a good thing for this country. In the 80s, we only had KBC and the Voice of Kenya then, and government would chaperone information the way it wants. But with a liberal media, it's good for the country. People have choice. You cannot cheat the people of Kenya anymore. If one station is biased, they just switch and go to the next one. Press freedom is important and a critical component of our democracy. And President Ruto and I are beneficiaries of a free media. And our democracy is strengthened when we strengthen press freedom. But as much as we have freedom of the press, it goes with responsibility. You have a responsibility as a media to be objective and to be accurate. And I request the media also to be fair. Just like you are free to criticize the government and to criticize anything under the sun, you too must allow people to criticize you. Affirm you where you do well, encourage you when you perform well, and point out where you are failing. When you are not objective, we'll tell you are not objective. And it's our right. We don't have to be right, by the way. It's our view. If I find a certain media station is not objective, I'll say so in broad daylight. If you find the Deputy President is out of order, you also say so. But let us not have rules for one group and not for another. You also must allow us, as leaders of this country, as Kenyans also, to hold you to account as you enjoy the media freedom that is enshrined in the Constitution.
Your Excellency, Article 131 of the Constitution, Section 2, subsection E, says, "The President shall ensure the protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms and rule of law." Now, Article 34 of the Constitution is explicit on freedom of the media, which means it is guaranteed under the rights and fundamental freedoms. That is non-negotiable. Now, when you talk of that assurance, when you took oath of office on 13th of September,
yes,
protecting and upholding the Constitution is key among them.
Yes.
You are under the presidency. You are tasked to protect the freedom of the media because it's under the non-negotiable rights,
yes,
rights and fundamentals.
Yes.
You were in Murang'a recently,
yes,
and you spoke clearly,
yes,
that the media attempted to cross your path. You hammered them 9-0 in your own words,
yes,
and said, "Hata hapa mbele tumewangoja mtaona." Less than 48 hours, Senate Majority Leader and Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot took to his social media and singled out 2 sectors, the media and the banks. Yes. And he said a way has to be found to crush them. What does that speak when it comes to freedom of the media? What is the agenda of this administration as far as the media freedom is concerned?
Absolutely. I repeat what I said in Muranga. We hammered the media 9-0 because media was part of Azimio. And we hammered Azimio and all its affiliates, including the media. That's what I meant. And in another election, if the media is in bed with our opponents, we'll crush them, politically speaking. You remember, the media sponsored headlines against President William Ruto. The media ran fake opinion polls, which were discounted on the ballot. The media had false narratives against the candidature of William Ruto and I. As late of last week, the Standard media, against all known journalistic ethics, ran a headline that Gachagua and his wife had asked for 1.5 billion. All the other newspapers reported correctly. They went ahead to say that Gachagua had demanded for 1.5 billion, which was untrue. Gachagua does not demand for any money. The office of the Deputy President is a public office that is supposed to be funded from the public. Gachagua, the Deputy President, has a spouse, not a wife. It was a very biased piece of journalism. They went ahead to say that Gachagua demanded. The minister, former minister, had said they had requested on behalf of the Deputy President and his office. There is nowhere he talked of a demand. But the Standard newspaper, that has been very biased against our administration, went ahead to write lies to the people of Kenya. And we are saying, much as we respect the freedom of the press, when you go haywire, when you degenerate into gutter press and yellow journalism, we'll call you out. Just as we respect your right to call us out. So it's a mutual relationship. And the media cannot arrogate itself the moral high ground that it can criticize others, but cannot be criticized where they go wrong. You, the media, carried fake opinion polls. The people of Kenya, on the 9th of August, put you to shame. And we kept on saying these are sponsored polls. And we called you out. We saw media stations on top of a lorry, a media owner campaigning for Azimio. That is not objectivity. We had to call them out. So if you want respect, it's mutual. Be objective, observe the code of ethics, and don't be biased. Be objective. So what Senator Aaron Cheriot said is that among the people we are looking at is the media, because the way they are behaving is not right. I have seen new people, the media. When we had the previous administration and prices of food were high, you never wrote a story. Today, even when those prices have gone down, it's a headline every day. You are not objective, and that is the truth.
No,
and we shall continue. We shall continue every day. I would have been concerned if any journalist had been harmed by anybody. If you had come to this home and you are locked out, you have not been locked out. You cover the president, you cover myself, you cover all our ministers, and nobody has stopped you. But you cannot gag us from giving an opinion of what we think is your performance. That is our right as Kenyans. Much as the media freedom is enshrined in the Constitution, our freedom of speech equally is guaranteed by the very Constitution.
There was a journalist who was attacked in Muranga at the your spouse's event. You've said you've not heard. There's a journalist under Nation Media Group who was attacked in Muranga.
That journalist who had a scuffle with the security personnel attacked to the spouse of the Deputy President has had 4 other scuffles with the security personnel along the way. That journalist comes to meetings drunk all the time. And what will happen is the security people have to do their work. If you come, you are drunk and disorderly in a meeting. Even if you are a journalist, you are not above the law. And that is not the first situation. That was the 4th. He had 3 other incidences with former Deputy President, now President William Ruto.
Okay.